Hello YouTube! It is Toy Adventures here again with another figure review. And today guys, I am finally taking a look at a figure I promised to take a look at a while ago, but that's because I found another figure in the line. Today we are taking a look at the Star Wars The Black Series, Star Wars Andor Shoretrooper, and Imperial Officer from Ferrix. Now, I'm going to put a disclosure, I have not seen Andor yet. I have seen pretty much only The Mandalorian, so I don't exactly know the context of these guys. I just picked them up because I love collecting Imperials, and I like the rank that I have now. I have like an officer unit. I play a lot of Battlefront, and so I kind of try and replicate the units I see in Battlefront in my collection, so you know, I don't have an officer class, but now I do. It obviously doesn't look like the officer class in Battlefront, but I can kind of use it in pictures as a similar thing. And then Shoretrooper, I just love Shoretroopers, and I needed to pick at least two of these guys up. I have one opened, and I'll talk about it in a bit, but for now, let's just take a look at the packaging. This is the new Black Series style packaging. For the Andor, they have like this really nice reddish orange as the series color, if you didn't know. Each of these boxes have their own color based on what series they're from, and this orange red, as I said, is from Andor. So really nice open style packaging. This is going to be something from the bygone era. They're going to do away with these open style packaging pretty soon, so enjoy them while you can. It says Imperial Officer from the planet Ferrix. I don't know anything about Ferrix. I think it's new to Andor. I could be wrong though. Here on the side you have a really nice illustration of the officer here, and on the back we actually have a bio. This was a complaint I had in the G.I. Joe review, is that they don't have bios and they're from the military, so you can't really tell where they're from. The original G.I. Joes had file cards, but yeah, they got a bio right here, so let's take a little read. In an era filled with danger, deception, and intrigue, Cassian Andor embarks on a path that will turn him into a rebel hero who will challenge the evil galactic empire. And then you have that in a couple other languages. Very nice, very cool. So that is the Imperial Officer. Let's take a look here at the Shoretrooper. Now, this is not the first Shoretrooper we've gotten in the Black Series. We got one obviously for Rogue One, and I think a few others. So this one says, in an era, okay, well, it's the same bio. I guess I fibbed a little bit. It's not actually a bio, it's just a summary on the show, which really is, well, I guess I get to complain again. Why isn't there a bio? Okay, now that that's over, Hasbro refuses to learn from their lessons and refuses to put bios on their characters. They just assume you know what you're getting instead of just finding a cool action figure on the shelf, which is usually how it goes. I mean, that's how it used to be in the classical days. You just find a cool character in the Star Wars line and get it, and then you read the bio and you learn a little about it. Maybe check the Wikipedia. Not anymore. You better just hop on the Wikipedia immediately because Hasbro can't be damned. Anyway, so if you guys didn't know, these little images, here's the one for the Shoretrooper. These actually line up, so when you buy the entire wave or like the entire collection for Andor specifically, they'll make a little mural for like your shelf. So when you put them together, as you can see, these two go together perfectly, and it completes the image. You have like the little arm or elbow of the Shoretrooper there, with the Imperial Officer standing there. So they look really good together when their packaging is all put together. I've seen countless pictures of people having the shelves with these, you know, murals going throughout the entire shelf, just depicting all of the characters with the action figures displayed in front of the boxes, which looks really nice, and it kind of makes me tempted to get even the figures I don't want from this line, which is quite a few. Andor doesn't have a lot of super action-y based characters. But anyway, let's get these two out of the packaging. This guy has been waiting a long time to come out of the packaging. And not this guy, I just got him. But let's check it out. Alright, so here we have the Shoretrooper and Imperial Officer out of the packaging. And first we're going to take a look at the Shoretrooper just because it's the least remarkable of the two. Mainly because this is a figure we've already gotten in this line while it was a long time ago, and this is a new deco. Build-wise, this is completely the same. I used to own the old Shoretroopers, the ones from Rogue One. I sold my collection way back in the day, so I can't unfortunately compare it, but I do remember it enough to tell you this is the exact same figure with just new paint details. So, and it wasn't a bad figure, it was a really good one, but it is a little disappointing, but also very understandable. What isn't understandable is the armament they give this guy. Now, I know Andor is not about big battles with, troopers that are heavily armed and whatnot. It's more about politics. So, the Shoretrooper's armed with this dinky little shortened version of what I'm assuming is an E11. But it's just really pathetic, and it looks more like a pistol, which is fine. But it doesn't say Shoretrooper Officer. It just says Shoretrooper. And usually you'd expect the officers to come with pistols or submachine guns or something. But no, it's just they gave him this tiny little gun, and that's it. Now, I don't know what rank he is based on this deco. I did look up decos, and it seems like Andor has its own. This doesn't follow with any rank. I'm going to assume, since it just said Shoretrooper, this is just a regular. Instead of being some kind of officer or anything, maybe it's just special to ferrix. I don't know. But I don't think anyone really cares. You could totally just throw this in with the rest of your Shoretroopers and just invent a new speciality for its special colors. I don't know. Just another cool trooper to add to the ranks. What I would do is not arm him with this because it looks pathetic. So, what's cool about this, though, and I wish they'd bring this back because the modern Stormtroopers do not have a holster for their blaster. The old Black Series Stormtroopers did, and this one also does. I don't think this was actually on the original Shoretrooper, so this is a new addition, and it's a very welcomed one because I don't like this pistol. So the first thing I'm going to do with it is holster it, since I don't have to throw it, in a baggie or anything, which is really nice. That means you don't have to lose it. So you can just toss it in his holster and give him a proper E11, and he'll look much better. But well, let's just test it right now, because this guy's got an E11. I'm going to rob it from him real quick. Don't worry, officer. You will get your weapon back. I think these two should actually swap weapons. Since he's the officer, you should have, the more dinky pistol. But maybe that's just my Battlefront brain talking to me. Anyway, looking much better now, see? Told you. Just give him the right blaster, and he looks really cool. And that's why I had to get these guys, because I love Shoretroopers, and I'm really bummed I sold my old ones. So, kind of unexpected to run into new ones. I did not know that these were actually coming out in the line when I found these. I was just super shocked. So, nice little surprise. Anyway, let's go over the paint detail. You have the white here on the shoulders. Now, I remember them originally being blue, I think. I would have to look at a picture. I'll go ahead and show a little picture right here of what the original Shoretrooper looks like. I'm sure a lot of you Star Wars fans already know that, but, just off the top of your head, it's easier to have a direct comparison. And I guess this is just Andor's version of the regular. You have the nice little red armband right here. And yeah, the paint detailing on this thing is really nice. There is missing some on the back, but that's just standard for Black Series. They're not too crazy on the paints. But what you end up getting is a really nice looking, you even have some scuffed up and battle damage right here. Just a really nice looking figure. Well, I guess not quite battle damage because it's not really battle, just, weathering. Dirtied up, I guess you could say. So, let's get on to articulation. The head is on a ball joint, so you have full movement. You can look down about that far. Remember, it's a new figure, so the joints are pretty loose. That's actually really good for a downward movement in the head. You can really have him sulking, really in his feels. You can have him look up just about there. So again, really good movement in the head. It's very impressive how much actual up and down, because usually up and down is pretty hard to get for most action figures. So the arms are on a full rotation. You can push up about that far. The shoulder armor is a little rubbery, and if you lift it up, you can get it even more, but it's obviously warping the plastic. That shouldn't look like that, So don't do that too much. Try and just, when it stops, just don't push it too much, or you might end up warping the shoulder point, or even worse, ripping it off. And the arms, pinless. I don't remember if the original ones were pinless. We'll just take a look at the picture and find out. I think they were. But they are only single jointed, but you do get a fair amount of movement out of them. I mean, enough to pull off shooting poses, which is really all you need for this guy. So, just about a 90-degree angle for the arm bendment, and then 360-degree rotation. As here for the wrist, you have the classic up and down. This is what I was talking about in my G.I. Joe review. This is how a shooting hand's wrist articulation should be, up and down for better aiming poses. And of course, 360-degree rotation. Here on the other hand, since it's the same, I'm just going to cover the actual hand, because this hand has an in and out joint, like I said, perfect for holding the weapon in shooting poses. Down here at the waist, or I guess abs, you have a really nice ab crunch going forward, back, and of course, well, Actually, not really rotation due to the shape of the armor, but you do get a little bit of movement in there. And going down here to the hips, really restricted due to the rubbery hip skirt right here. So, yeah, not too much. It's about as much of the splits as you're going to be doing. He has thigh rotation. Mine's really stiff, but you do get 360-degree rotation. Not pinless knees, but that's fine. I don't mind. Not everything has to be pinless. You know what I mean? But you do get a really nice amount of movement in them, so you can't complain too much. Pins never really bothered me, but it's just nice not having them. It's just like I wouldn't say win-win. It's just like win indifferent. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't bother me at all because I'm just used to toys having them. Like, I know a lot of people say, oh, it makes them look non-realistic. Fair enough, but they're also toys, so they also are non-realistic. So they don't really bother me. Unless I'm buying a Hot Toys, pins don't bother me. So, but the fact that they're gone just makes it look better. So, just a win, indifferent. So, good movement in the leg. Foot can, whoa, look at that. That's some crazy downward foot articulation and not too crazy upward movement. So, articulation overall on this guy is very nice. And for battle poses, you're pretty much going to get everything you need. Usually Black Series, as much as they fumble up other stuff, they usually get their basic troops pretty good the first time around. Seeing this is still the first Shoretrooper mold, and it's still serviceable and still great. I still think it stands up with the other figures that are even released today, so no real reason to update it. It's just fine. It's just fine the way it is. And in fact, I wish they would archive some of the other Shoretroopers that they released. I could really do with the Rogue One and a Shoretrooper captain, maybe even an officer. Yeah, Shoretroopers are cool. Definitely invest in them, Hasbro. People want more. Archive them. You know, people are always getting into the hobby and always wanting new figures. That's why I love the archives, because it's just a chance for us to get old figures. And I hope this guy will soon get some compatriots to fight the rebel scum. Now that we've taken a look at that guy, give him a rating out of 10. I'm going to give him a solid 6. Nothing new, but just a solid figure. Above, you know, mediocrity, but nothing standout. Just solid, I guess. Now we're going to take a look at the actual interesting one, the Officer. Now I got this guy again because I play so much Battlefront and I have a sniper, kind of. It's the Jedi Survivor Scout Trooper. I just like the look of it so much more than the regular Scout Trooper, but I am going to get a regular Scout Trooper eventually. But for now, that is my Scout class. Heavy, I have the model kit. This is going to be my Officer for now because I haven't found a really good General Veers looking Star Wars guy. And I don't want to go tracking on eBay, but I might have to. But for now, this is my guy. So, I don't know too much about the officers on ferrix, so this is me going into this character completely blind to its source material. And, you know, people say, when will you stop wearing black? When they invent a darker color. 10 points to whoever can catch that reference. Anyway, take a look up here at the articulation first, because that's what I'm most curious about this guy, because he looks like a fair bit of reuse. Taking a look at the head, 360-degree rotation. You can look up about that far, down about that far. Moving down here to the shoulders. Pretty fair movement up. The shoulder pads are not separate pieces, but technically they are, but they're glued on and there's no real like give to them. So that's about as much as you can get up. Just about a little bit more than 90 degrees in the shoulder, which is actually kind of surprising. I didn't know it'd have better arm movement than the Shoretrooper. And as for the hands, you have the in and out, full rotation, pretty standard. Does this one have the, yep, this one has the up and down for the blaster hand, which is perfect because I'm going to be giving him a pistol instead. I'm not really going to pair him up with the full E11. This probably will go to him. So, waist articulation, 360-degree rotation, because his armor does not restrain it. Pretty good ab crunch back. Kind of weak going forward. Yeah, this thing keeps falling off. I'll get into that in a minute. And, ooh, friendly fire. He can move his hips out just about there. The hip skirts do restrain it. Oh yeah, I already showed that. I thought there was another joint right here, but there's not. Double jointed knees, not pinless actually, for a brand new release. That is a little strange, but I'm assuming, I have a hunch, and I have to prove it right now. No. Okay. I was gonna say, I thought these were the same reuse legs as the Shoretrooper, but they're actually very different. I don't know, maybe this is a reuse from a different figure that I'm not privy to, but this, you know, as I said, pins don't bother me at all, so it's not even going to factor into the figure's overall rating. It's just a natural thing of action figure design. So his legs, or his feet, can go back that far, go forward about that far, and of course, yes, thigh rotation. The articulation on these Black Series troops is pretty standardized throughout the entire line, which is nice because if you like them, then you're going to like all of them. So, very nice articulation on this guy. Looking very cool. Oh, I'm kind of moving his arm in the wrong way. Always make sure when you're posing that you're posing the joints in the way they're supposed to be going. So, let's go on with accessories, because I think this could count as an accessory. It's constantly falling off, people. Constantly, and it is quite annoying. It's not even like locked in anywhere. You can kind of like pull it down over his face to use the goggles. But damn, does that look really weird. I don't know if I like that. I think that might be accurate, because I mean, how else would these look, really? So I mean, if you want the goggles pulled down, yeah, they got you. You can. It just looks a little funny. Looks like he has big old cartoon eyes. But if you don't like the goggles at all, well, they easily just pop right off, and then you have this guy in an even goofier looking helmet, almost looking like something out of, what is it? Spaceballs! That's what I was thinking of. I was thinking of Spaceballs, and I could not think of the name. Almost looks like Dark Helmet. So, you can just easily pull the helmet off, question mark? I said easily, and I'm having trouble with it. Think before you speak, people. Or attempt before you speak. Yeah, the helmet is removable. And you have a pretty nice sculpt. It looks like, Sam Witter, is that his name? The guy who played, Starkiller in The Force Unleashed. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I think it's Sam Witter. I could be naming a completely different person. I am kind of a dunce. But the voice of Maul and Starkiller, that looks just like him. It looks good. A good, just standard head. And, yeah, really nice articulation on that. So, that is really all I had to say about these guys. They are solid additions to this wave. These are probably going to be the most sought after, at least for the trooper guys like me. Because most of the main characters from Andor, like Mon Mothma and everyone, yes, they're very important Star Wars characters, but they're not really action-y based. So a lot of the people who take pictures with their figures and they're not just straight up completionists, I don't know if they're really going to be too hot on getting those. Now, obviously, you need some non-action characters in the Star Wars line, I know, but for me, these are going to be the most interesting, at least, because they are the action guys. And, yeah, I mean, that's really all I had to say about these two. Very solid. Happy I got them. And I can't wait to see what else comes out in Black Series. I guess I need to watch Andor, huh? So I can really understand these two. But I didn't get them because I like Andor. I got them because I like Imperials, and I need more specialized units in my army. So anyway, guys, that has been it for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed that early release of the toy movie. I know I said it was going to be up on Saturday, but I decided, you know what, it's Christmas time. Why don't I give it to you guys a little early, because you guys have been waiting so long for that part 11. So, yep, it's up. Go ahead and enjoy that. And, yeah, no real future planned reviews anymore. Just got to go find something else to review, I guess. So, in the meantime, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Toy Adventures, and I will see you guys in the next review.